This is already more elaborate than our house we lived in for 5 years.
Yes.
Our pole barn house that we had. We never put a floor in.
Never.
Hey y'all, welcome to Stivers Homestead. I'm Zach.
I'm Jen.
Apparently I can't talk. Butters and Elsa have still not had their baby. Nope. And so we're just moving on until they decide they're going to do it. So that brings us to the store. We got a little bit more work to do in there. All right, first things first, I don't know if we ever showed you all, but we did get all of the walls completed. So if I did show you that, sorry, here it is again. We got all that completed. We still have to do trim for everything, but at least those are done. We then went up and stained all of the trusses. The stain is special walnut color. That's the color of it. We think it turned out really well. And the plan with the ceiling is we want the trusses to be exposed, so that's why we went ahead and stained them. And then we're gonna be putting something up in between them. We haven't decided just yet.
I have an idea.
She does have an idea. We won't tell you all. If you all have some ideas, shoot them down in the comments on what you think maybe we should put up in there. Just another shot for you. We definitely don't want to cover up the clear cap that we have here. It provides some pretty nice natural light in here. But we're gonna have some time to do that because we also have a porch about to be built, and they may have to go under the tin and kind of disrupt the ceiling a little bit. So we'll wait till the porch is done for that. But now, what are we doing?
We're gonna put the floor in.
We're gonna put the floor in. So here is the floor that we chose, if I can get that underneath the tarp. American Heritage laminate. I don't even know what the color is, but there it is. Looks really good. It matches the trusses. Yeah, it was the cheapest. What did you say?
It was the cheapest one, but in my opinion, it was also the prettiest one.
Yeah, really.
The prettiest laminate. Like, we're not gonna do wood floor in here, but I think it was the prettiest laminate, and it was only 89 cents. So that's pretty cool. The other was for like $1.50, $2.20, so that was getting way up there. Yeah, and it's nice having a smaller place because it doesn't completely break you with this. We have, what did I say, 380 something square foot in here, so that helps a lot. It's still really expensive, but her being able to find an 89-cent laminate. What is it? It's like 89 cents per
square foot.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's, you know, you can do the math. 89 cents to 385 or 395 square
Cheaper
foot.
than the walls.
Cheaper than the walls. For daggone sure. We're talking non-wood laminate, so it was a little bit cheaper. It hadn't been hit just yet, but we're gonna get that done now. All right, I'm gonna shoot you straight. This isn't a how-to video because I've literally never done this. This will be my first time, but I watched several YouTube videos and we'll see how it goes. It can't be that hard, right? So what I do know is you do need to clean your floor really well. You want to sweep it up really good, make sure there's no construction stuff, you know, that's laying on there. And then it's just a tarp. But what it is it's a moisture barrier between the ground, the plywood, and then your laminate. You don't want that laminate getting like saturated and wet because it'll start bending and breaking and not look good. So that's what this is for. Because I've never done this, I'm not going out and laying out everything. We're gonna do this, you know, slow and steady. But we are gonna run it this way instead of this way. It should help make the place look bigger. At least that's what everybody says. So we'll see. But I'm gonna start in that back corner. We're gonna go down this way completely with the first row, and then we'll keep coming. Once I get to the end of this moisture barrier, that's when I'll add another one. Now this does have this sticky thing here, so when I put the next one on, I'll be able to pull that off, put the next one on, and hold it in place. But I just didn't want to walk all over it while I'm over there. So let's do this.
Also, I'm sure there's like other things you can do, right, that are like more professional and stuff. You can add padding and all that kind of stuff. But keep in mind, nobody's living in here. Nobody's gonna be in here barefoot. Nobody's gonna be, you know, getting out of bed in the morning, putting their feet on the ground. This is just a store and a place to put our stuff and to sell our stuff and also hang out. But nobody's going to be actually living in here. So just keep that in mind.
All right, we are halfway in, so I've gotten half the floor down. It's really looking pretty. Say hi, Joe. I love how it's looking. Now, I will tell you a couple things about putting in this laminate floor. It's surprisingly going very well. Like, I'm not having many issues with it. It just, at least this form, it's that tongue and groove, so you just kind of go at an angle and then bring it down and then hit it a couple times just to lock it in. It's working pretty good. Here's my worry, just because y'all know me, things aren't level, right? So once we get over here, that's gonna be curious, that last line, and seeing how level I am and how straight I am, because that's gonna be the deciding factor. Not a huge ordeal, I just might have to fine tune it a little bit, if you know what I mean. But I think it looks really pretty. I don't know, what do you all think? I think it really pulls the grays out of the floor and doesn't make it look so brown because of our gray walls, which really just ties it together. It's a good color palette. So there's yet another shot of just seeing the walls and the floor. It's really pretty. All right, all of them are done besides the last row. And as expected, I do have to cut them. It's about 6 3/8. So I'm having to rip the boards to get them down. The one thing to remember is you don't have to be snug as a bug, and you actually don't want to be, because this stuff's going to flex. So you want to give a little room for that to happen. However, you're probably going to put a baseboard down. We're going to put some kind of trim down. So if you have this little bit of a gap, which doesn't look ideal, it's okay, because you're going to cover it up. So don't forget about that part. But this is time consuming where everything else wasn't. So now I've got one in. It's time to keep going and get the others. Have whooped me. It's done though. You can see over here. That part really wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Thankfully, I was fairly level and everything was, I think, 6 3/4, like pretty much the whole way down. Besides right by the door, I had to go a little bit different there because it stuck out a little bit more with that weather vane that they have. But it's done.
It looks fantastic. I absolutely love it. It's beautiful in here.
Yeah, it really does look good. If you can get a shot from the back there.
I would literally live in here. I'm like...
we was joking. This is already more elaborate than our house we lived in for 5 years.
Yes.
Our pole barn house that we had. We never put a floor in.
Never.
It was just pieces of carpet that were laying around, but whew, goodness gracious.
Yep.
I'm tired. My knees hurt.
Now it's dinner time.
The only thing I will say differently is put some knee pads on. Put some knee pads on. It'll save you a whole lot. I didn't have any. A little sore, but it's complete. While I was on the floor, what were you doing?
Making dinner.
Making dinner. Well, she says just making dinner. That's how nonchalant she is about this. She made awesome artisan bread.
That's for dinner.
That's for, well, yeah, but it's still, you made homemade bread. What are we having for dinner?
We're having pork chops that are in the oven. They're done.
Nice.
Broccoli and macaroni and cheese and bread.
Show them what's in that.
Oh, yeah.
And then over here,
This is caramelized onions. So I started these yesterday. They've been cooking in here for 24 hours. They're caramelized now, and after dinner, we're gonna can them. We're gonna do 75 minutes for pints, and they're gonna be delicious. But I also think I'm gonna take some out and put on top of our pork chops. So about 3 or 4 months ago, we did our Azure haul, not the one that we showed you this last time, the previous one. And I got, I think it was 40 pounds of yellow onions. And we went through a lot of them. I just kept them in our pantry in a crate so that they could be by themselves in the dark. And we ate a ton, but they started to not go bad, but just kind of like show signs of maybe starting to head that way. So I saw Rachel from that 1870s Homestead. She used her onions and put them in her turkey roaster and caramelized them and canned them. And then she also made onion jam. We're not going to do the onion jam, but it was a wonderful idea from her, so thank you. A lot of my ideas come from her, and I tell you guys all the time, if you're not watching them, you should, because they're awesome.
Absolutely. So we've had a wild week. Jen and Wyatt got sick last Sunday. Stomach bug sick, yeah.
Which I think was the flu. I mean, we didn't go to the doctor or anything. There was no need to, but I think it was the flu because it lasted for 3 days.
Yeah, it was crazy. Normally when you have a stomach bug, you know, that's like the worst sickness, right? But you usually over it in 24 hours. Well, they had it for 72. Yeah. And so in that time, y'all knew that that Raylan and I were passing by. Well, when her and Wyatt's day of getting better, we were staining the trusses. Raylan comes out to the door and she says, "My stomach feels sick," and then she went bloop, and then projectile, like partially in the store and out of the store. It was terrible. So today, now Monday, Raylan's finally better. She is finally on the mend. Yeah, she had 72 hours as well. I haven't got it, and I'm nervous every day. Like, there is something bubbling, but it's like never crossed the line. And I just keep my fingers crossed that it doesn't get there. But even throughout all that, we were able to get the truss sustained. We were able to get the floor down.
We've been milking every day.
Milking, watching Baby Watch, getting Airbnb ready. Like,
Yeah,
it's
we
just,
have guests coming this evening.
yeah, it's insane. It was just a long week, but we're fine. Everybody seems to be on recovery.
We had a big camp out in the living room all week.
Yeah, we sure did.
fun.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that it doesn't come my way. But other than that, I hope you all enjoyed it. This is the real life of homesteading. You're gonna get sick. Like, it's, if you go out, you're gonna get it, and you just have to be able to fight through it and be able to just meet your obligations that you need and just try to get a little bit. One of the biggest things that we were trying to do is get out in the sun. You know, that vitamin D is going to help you almost more than anything, and I really do think it helped all of us being out there. But store is almost complete.
Yeah,
We're getting there.
We're getting close.
Yes, we are. So, as you all know, we're trying to get it to the chicken butchering that we have at the end of April, and then after that, hopefully we can have an official opening. But this porch that's going to go on there is really going to set it off.
I'm so excited.
So stay tuned for that. It's all coming. It's just nuts, you know. Just buckle up. Here we go. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to down below.
We love you.
Until the next one.
Bye.
Bye.